the critical race theory. They want to teach critical race theory, and a lot of parents are like, no, I'm not teaching that's garbage. That's not even real. You want our children, they're not going to learn about critical race theory. Sorry, but not sorry. But yeah, so with the water plant, that's going to be the county officials. They've known about the issue for so long. They have documentation going back years about the problem with the water plant, and they did not fix it. So yeah, I would definitely file a claim of injury on the the county public officials. Sister Chanel, you had your hand raised.
Yes, I just wanted to ask for co-host ability so I can meet people, please.
Yes, gratitude. Brother McClady Hill.
Yeah, I put my hand up going back to what you were mentioning. You made mention of something that caught my attention as you were mentioning your trust and how you have different areas under your trust, like different, I forget what you refer to them as, but are those different DBAs or are those just different sections of
Those are different DBAs that I've created.
Okay. And so then do you have to create separate charters for those DBAs? Basically, saying how you're going to operate each one of those?
Okay. Yep, that's how I did mine.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, that any corporation has a charter that they're going to operate off of. I just was curious. Okay.
Like, look at your city government, right? Or look at your county government.
Right.
Look at its charter. Let's go to it. I had it. I downloaded it.
I know you have it.
All right. So this is your county charter, right? All right. That's just the picture. I need to get the whole thing. Let me see. All right. So here's your county's charter. So this is the way that you can think of your family trust, right? Look at all the different departments. Right? You got the council, the attorney, appointed officers, board of commissions, Health and Human Services, county employment practices, purchasing, internal auditing, general provisions, transition to charter government, citizens voting rights, agency of inspector general, sheriff, economic development, right? These are all offices within your county. So your county would be say it's the family estate. And then you just have different offices, or you can call it districts, or you can call it agencies, right, to do whatever business you need under your family's estate. So you will give a descriptor of, let's see, go to Health and Human Services, Article 8. All right, here we go. Health and Human Services, there shall be a Department of Health and Human Services which shall administer all programs and activities for which the county has or has assumed responsibility for. So, you could say which the family estate has, or just the estate has assumed responsibility for the protection and enhancement of health, education, and well-being of the estate, the estate beneficiaries, and that are not assigned by general law to other boards, agencies, or officials. Or you can say trustees, executors, or executrix, right? Those are different. It's the different knowledge of words that you can utilize. And shall coordinate its activities and cooperative with such other boards or agencies and officers in order to avoid duplication of services and activities. The council shall provide by ordinance for such deputies and assistance to the Director of Health and Human Services as shall be conducive to the efficient performance of the duties of the Department of Health and Human Services. All right, then it gives like qualifications, things of that nature. So I'm not saying you have to go this detail in it, but you can. For your departments, you can just give, or your different agencies, or the different home offices. That's another name you can use for it. The different home offices under your estate, you can say, the general postmaster is to send and receive all mail matters. You
But
can say,
essentially, it would be like, for instance, the McCladiel Estate Department of Health and Human Services. That would be the DBA. If like if you set
right.
up, because obviously you got to have the ability to conduct business in that entity. Set
Mm-hmm.
up,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
send and receive, funds or whatever, except
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you're just making entities to function for whatever needs you have under your family's estate. That's it, and that's all. Your family estate, hands down, it's going to need a treasurer, a secretary, postmaster general, which is private, not the Postmaster General for the United States Postal Service, but the Postmaster General for your private mail matters, right? For your estate. You know that it's going to need a thrift, right? Or you can say a savings association. If you don't want to use the word thrift. I wouldn't use the word bank. The only reason why I wouldn't use the word bank is because I wouldn't want for it to come under any rules or regulations under the Federal Reserve Bank.
You said treasurer, postmaster general.
Islam, did the Moors hear that? Because that's very important. When you use certain terms, words, you put yourself into their system.
Yeah.
Like the word school.
No, you can use, you can use the word school. We got Sunday school.
We got Sunday school, that's right.
You know,
Like she
school,
said, bank.
yeah, school is a private thing. Bank is more so one of those things where when you say the word bank, automatically the public is going to think of a bank that's
Region,
under the guise
U.S.A, whatever.
of the regulations of the banking institutions. So instead of going through any of that, constantly explaining, this is my personal private family bank institution, all those, just use the word thrift. Use the word savings association, or even like a savings cooperative, something like that, that is not looked at as if it is something that can actually be taxed. All right.
It's more gratitude.
Did that
Family thrift.
for Claudio?
Well, no, I was just asking because you said you definitely gonna need a treasurer, postmaster general, thrift savings association, but I thought you said something else as well. I know it's probably a secretary as well.
Secretary.
Okay, cool. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned it because we had to create certain seals for each one.
Right.
And I remember, some of that stuff. I just was following along with you.
Mm-hmm. So what you're talking about is, because I've already given examples. Let's see, secretary appointments. I want the appointment of the secretary. All right, so this is an example for appointment for a secretary that you can use, right? Same thing for a treasurer. Same thing for your family, for your thrift, so on and so forth. So what I did was I created a signature for the secretary, and this is the only signature that the secretary uses. When it's asked for a signature, there's another, like, you can use, say if you get a registered mail label, right? You can use the registered mail label, right? The registered mail label, you can use that as the secretary's signature, the treasurer's signature, right? Doesn't have to have exact signed, name or anything like that, what we would consider as a name, right? The name could be whatever you create it to be. So all of those labels are scannable. You can scan those in the kiosk at the post office, not the USPS, but the post office, which is that area that's out in the, seems like it's out in the hallway when you go to the post office before you go into the glass doors.
Pay
right?
attention to the words, y'all.
That's where the post office is at. That's where they have
That's right.
all of the labels for you to
Not
get.
the merchants.
Yeah, that they have everything in there for you to get. The only thing you ever need to go to the USPS for is to purchase stamps, to get a firm book, right? So
Huh? Can you run that back again? Go back.
yeah, so a while back, last year, I told everybody they need to get one of these USPS firm book. Right, so that's PS form 3877.
Okay.
PS form 3877. So all you do is you go to the post office and you say, hey, I need a firm mailing book for accountable mail for my business.
Okay.
Right. Normally they're gonna have it at the main post office. And if they don't have one, just say, can I get some sheets? They'll print off a couple of sheets for you.
Okay.
But every time you mail something, right, you sign and you fill this part out right here where it says address name. You fill that out where it's going to, right?
Okay.
You put the tracking number right here where it says tracking number, and you get the Postmaster General to stamp it, right? You get them to stamp it. So when you go to the post office, you say, hey, I need you to stamp this, and they'll stamp it for you. They also call it bump. They'll bump it for you or stamp it for you, either way. So every time when you send something, you get them to, like when you go and you mail out certified mail and you'll get that stamp on it.
Right.
That's what they're going to put on there.
So it's just for everything. I guess I'm trying to understand what the benefit is of doing that.
The benefit is when you got to go to court or you're making a postal claim, then you'll have the verification of you'll have the verification of the postmaster already. So you won't have to like subpoena the postmaster to come in to verify anything. They've already verified it.
Okay, so it's really just for your protection with anything that's been mailed out.
Right, especially if it's like a mortgage case.
Okay. Okay, so you get the book or the sheets and you keep these and you just keep bringing them back in and keep this ledger. Okay.
Yep, that's all it is a ledger.
So you're saying for our estate, we would do the same thing. And anything we would need to go to the post office for, like you said, was to buy stamps or, you know, whatnot.
Yeah, that's all you really ever need the post office for is to purchase stamps
And to mail out.
to get the fern book, to get the registered mail labels, right? They have those in the, you know, they have those in the back, and they have to move those around because that's real money right there.
You talking about the registered mail labels?
Yeah, they can't even keep those. If you read the domestic mail manual, they can't even keep those in the same spot all day. They have to move it around different locations in the post office.
What? I don't understand that.
Oh yeah, that's real money.
Certified mail is real money?
It's the registered mail.
Registered mail, okay.
Certified mail is out in the open, in the public.
Right, right.
Registered mail is in the private.
So we really should be using registered mail for everything, right?
You want to, you can. You can also use registered mail email.
Registered mail email.
Yep, it works the same way.
And it's through the post office?
No, it's not through the post office. But here it is, registered email. It works the same way. It is this is really through this is one of the vendors that's through the UPU. So it's not through the post office with the United States of America, but the international. So this is the one that I like. If I ain't got enough time, the days are coming down to the wire, I'll just use these people. I'm putting the links in the chat for y'all too.
See, I always thought that and again, this is what I get for thinking, that the registered mail was, you know, only for anything that you want insured. So for instance, you send something certified mail, it's going to be the same as registered mail unless it's something that you want insured. And that was the only difference. Is that not the case?
Say it again. If you only want things insured.
I said my understanding of utilizing registered mail versus certified mail is they both did the same thing, except registered mail is for something that you want insured. So let's say you're sending out, prime example, let's say we were sending out our trust, or we're sending out our birth certificates to be authenticated or apostille, and we place a certain value on that. Like for instance, you've had to pay for these certificates, you know, $20, $30 a piece, and you're sending them out to get a apostille. You want to send that registered mail so that it's insured in the event if something happens to it, they got to reimburse you or pay you for that package, right? So that's been my understanding, is that that's been the only difference between registered mail versus certified mail. Is that not the case?
No, certified mail is insured.
So
registered
I guess
mail, yeah, registered mail and certified mail is already insured.
So why would one use?
And both of them take about 3 days, correct?
You can use both of them in court You can use both of them for court matters.
Okay.
They're both already insured.
Okay.
Registered mail, you can add extra insurance on it.
Well, I'm asking this question because obviously there has to be a reason why one costs $4, one costs, more than that, like 8. And there's also a reason why one would send, the two options are available. So I'm just trying to understand the difference in utilizing one versus the other.
I would use registered mail if I had like a major court matter. Like if it was if I was going up against an insurance company, if I was going up against a mortgage company, something like that, I would use registered mail in that matter.
Okay, I'm gonna like a 5-year-old. Why?
The reason why is because I would want to be able to bring in the Postmaster General, like if I had to subpoena the Postmaster General. Only the postmasters handle registered mail.
Okay.
So it's not like your regular mail carrier that's handling that mail matter. It's
So
only
Postmaster
Postmaster.
General is okay. So you're not getting some 21-year-old kid who's supposed to deliver this and it don't get to where it get to you getting the official delivery from
It
the
could be a
Postmaster General.
21-year-old kid. There's a couple 21-year-old kids who are set up to be Postmaster Generals.
Well, I'm just saying from a standpoint of you're not getting you're getting the Postmaster General, like, so you're getting basically, it's just like dealing with the manager versus dealing with a server.
Correct.
Okay.
So here is the registered mail. This is the domestic mail manual. If anyone wants to know what this is,
Yes,
it's
sir.
the domestic mail manual, registered mail. All right, it says registered mail is the most secure service that the USPS offers. It incorporates a system of receipts to monitor the movement of mail from point of acceptance to delivery. Registered mail provides the sender with the mailing receipt and, upon request, electronic verification that an article was delivered or that a delivery attempt was made. Customers can retrieve the delivery status in 3 ways: over the internet, by entering the article number shown on the mailing receipt by telephone, or by bulk electronic file transfer for mailers who provide an electronic manifest to the Postal Service. A delivery record, which includes the signature, is maintained by the Postal Service for a specified period of time. See, with the registered mail, each Postmaster General, every time they pass it to another one, they're going to put their signature on it. So they have one of these as well. They have their own firm book. And every time they pass to another one, that signature, that information is going to be written down. That time stamp is going to be on the firm book.
It's long. That's okay. I got you.
It's long. So when it's certified mail, you're not going to really have that firm book exchange, right? You're not going to have that ledger exchange. It's long.
So is it just one of those situations in which you basically can prove that it was sent, prove that it was received, all of that, from a documentation standpoint, so nobody can basically claim they didn't get it, it wasn't something. Now basically
If they say they didn't get it, you can subpoena the Attorney General for the post office to be a witness in the matter.
Okay.
Like you can get the postal police involved in everything. Because if they're saying they didn't get registered mail, then somebody's going to federal prison. That registered mail label is a banking instrument.
I don't know that I get that, but okay. You said it's a banking instrument?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I guess I would ask how or why that's, I mean, how's that a banking instrument? Just by definition of what we're talking about a banking instrument is? Or you saying a negotiable instrument? Yeah, what's it? Uh, mm,
You see, it's already insured, and then
yeah, I'm seeing,
you have to make the declaration of the full value.
and that's going to be dependent on what you're sending, right?
Correct.
So if I'm sending something in a matter, like you said, with the insurance company, is the value going to be based on what? Like, so let's say you're filing a lawsuit, the value is going to be basically the lawsuit amount, correct?
Correct.
Because if it doesn't make it where it's going, and that's what the value to you is the, you know. Well, that's that's my understanding.
So that's the value of it is going to be whatever, the cost of the item is. And then they're gonna already automatically add the insurance to it. So you may need to purchase more insurance if the
Well,
registered mail insurance is not covering it.
yeah, but I still don't understand what makes it a negotiable instrument. Like, I mean, why is that a negotiable instrument?
Because it's insured. It's already insured.
Oh,
That's why it's a negotiable instrument. It already has insurance on it.
okay.
You can add more insurance on it, but it's already insured.
So basically, if somebody says they don't get it, they're basically it's almost like an insurance fraud,
It is insurance fraud.
because somebody obviously had to go through a specific tracking with the Postmaster General, with logging everything to make sure that they documented where they took it, and the next person had to sign for it, pass it off, et cetera, to make sure it got to its destination. So if somebody said, "Well, I didn't get it," now you committing fraud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
against the post office.
Against the post office.
Remember, it said that it's the most secure. Register mail is the most secure service.
I got you.
This is why most of the time when you go to a post office, most of them aren't post office, they're just retail stores. The real post office is going to be always the one that's downtown, that's closest to the courthouse,
Okay.
or the one that's close to the register of deeds or recorder of deeds, whatever it is called, where you are in your county. And that's the main post office, what they call the main one in the area. That's the one who holds the authority within that region.
Okay.
So that's the one who will be able to issue out the register mail labels. Most of the retail stores, they only have one. So if you go in there, you ask for a roll, you're gonna look at you like you're crazy. Like, we ain't got a roll, but you might have a couple we can give you.
They definitely gonna look at you like you crazy.
Because they
So
only have one roll. They themselves only have
so,
one roll.
so
So
you
they
can
give
ask for
you,
you can ask for multiple register mail labels at a time.
they can only give you what they have for the public. So
But no, I'm
it's
saying
best to
like
go
if you
to,
go to the main post office, you can ask them to give you you know 5, 6, 7 stickers of the register mail.
you want to ask them for a roll.
Okay. Now there's also anytime you send something registered mail, those it's like this little ticket or something like that, this little multi-part form, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get those as well?
Yep.
Okay. This is good stuff.
All right. And there's a way to send these without actually paying any money, but I'm not going to get into that tonight.
I didn't want to bring that up, but I was going to talk about that, but I just like, I don't want to open up another can of worms.
Yeah, I have to do an
Well,
actual.
more as he was going over this, I started thinking back how we used to do all this, and we didn't even pay no money, no money. But you definitely want to know the postmaster in your area at that post office that you're going to be working with. Because
But
once you know them and they know you, almost anything you need, they make sure you get it.
Mm-hmm.
they're only at the main post office though, right?
Free.
Like you said, the
You should
retail stores
definitely have that
don't
down.
have it.
The free degree.
Yeah, all of these labels have barcodes on them. So once you have all your supplies, you just scan barcodes.
Where you scan the barcodes at?
At the kiosk.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And they have an app that you can download on your phone.
Okay.
So once you scan it, it's accepted. You never have to pay for it. It's already paid for. It's insured. It's prepaid.
Huh.
But when you go to the USPS, which is the postal service, you got to pay for the service fees.
Wow.
But when you go to the post office, you don't have to pay for the post office. That's free to the public.
So it's only one postmaster general though in your area, right?
Right.
And that's they're usually at the main post office.
Correct.
Okay.
And then if they have a annex, a lot of times they'll be between the annex and the main post office if the annex is not connected to the main post office.
So have you you have to set up an appointment to meet with the postmaster general?
You can set up an appointment. It's hard to get them on the phone, but you can call and leave messages all day. They'll eventually call you back.
Oh, okay.
The postmaster general that I deal with in St. Louis, which is where all of our mail comes in and goes out through, that's the main post office for all money order issues.
Oh, who?
Well, how did you
All money
classify
order issues.
So
For St. Louis?
must be pretty close to St. Louis.
We are hour 20 minutes, hour 30 minutes.
Y'all gotta go that far to mail? That's a long
No, we don't
way.
got to go that far. That's just where the our mail enters and goes out. That's a port of entry. That's the closest port of entry we have.
I got you. So how did you find that out?
Under
I
the
found out through the postmaster though. The postmaster here told us.
Okay.
and then I
As
verified
long as
it.
I know that all the mail is stamped by St. Louis, Missouri, if it's coming through here. I mean, every piece of mail I got while I was in prison, every one of them got stamped by St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, it's gonna get stamped by St. Louis. Where did I have that? I just had it up earlier. No, that's the Truth in Lending Act.
Islam, while you're looking for it,
You went out, Nelban. We can't hear you.
Islam. Okay, praise Allah. Islam.
Okay.
It reminds me to go back to the Moors used to always teach, instead of keeping your money in the bank, you might want to get your safe box in the post office and keep your money in the post office. Islam.
Well, the prophet, he was at the post office, remember?
Correct.
Man, y'all, when I teach that, why the prophet was at the post office, wow, it's a lot. Reading is fundamental. When you comprehend what it is that you're reading, it's even more. It is even more. Money order. USPS money order. I think it was under frequently asked questions, I believe. St. Louis. Here it is. Can you see it, Brother McClaudio?
I was looking for the postmaster in my city. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you were asking me about?
When replacing a money order using this procedure, there is no fee either. PS Form 6401.
Okay.
This is if anybody's having money order issues. You will fill this form out. I'm going to put it in the chat for you.
When you say issues, that means like, something gets lost, damaged, or whatnot. What do you mean
Loss,
issue?
damage. If you sent it and no one has, they haven't claimed the money order.
How would
right?
you know if it's claimed or not?
You can call. That's why you have that stub. You have a part and they have a part.
Right.
So you can call and see if someone cashed it in. That would be a claim. There's no claim on it. You can get it back.
Shut up. I'm sorry. That's not nice.
Shut up.
Get it back. What? So what
You
happens
talking
if
You
you like
talking
so?
that talk now?
Man, listen, there was the problem I've run into a couple of times, which I have not come to like about postal money orders is one, it seems that every time you go to the post office, they don't ever have the money to cash the postal money orders. That's A. So there's been times that, just as I'm getting used to using them, I'll buy some and I'll take one into the post office and ask them to cash it. They say, well, we don't have the money. Well, I said, well, how are you selling them if you don't have the money?
Right.
It's wrong. You
So
know when I used to catch them? I catch them right before closing.
Well, that's what they said. They said this morning, as a matter of fact, I went in because I was looking into getting money orders for the process that the Sheikah said went over.
it
And
says
so
it right here. It says it right
what's
here.
that?
It says it is advisable. Let me blow it up. It is advisable to cash money orders for large amounts later in the day. Window
Mhm.
clerks begin the day with little or no cash on hand.
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly. I was just getting ready to say exactly. That's what they told me this morning. They was like, we don't got no money. It's like people got to bring the money in, and it's like, and some days,
Yeah,
we still don't have it because they said when people using these credit cards, they say there's some days we still don't have it.
I used to live off of post office money orders. So I learned from the general postmaster. He said never before 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Always come later, right before closing time, and your money is here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they also said that like for instance, not only do they don't keep a lot of the money on hand. Another thing there's a limit on how much you can buy in one transaction before they got to report you to the IRS too. I found that out at one point.
See, they slow here. We ain't never had that problem.
Yeah, so they say I think it's $3,000 is the limit that you can buy with one transaction before they report
Boy,
it to the IRS.
this is a boss right here. Y'all hear that? I have never went for the Moorish Temple Amexem Enterprise for every business. I never thought about spending $3,000.
I always like to find out what the threshold. I like to ask questions, as you can see. So I want to know what the threshold is. I want to know the rules and the regulations. I also found out like when you cashing them, you can take them to the bank, but they don't cash just like cash. It's not as easy as quick as cash.
You know why?
Why?
Because the money orders is backed by real money.
Correct.
So if you put one in the bank, then I guess that's the bank is going to claim that right away, right?
Of course they are.
But if you talk about paying somebody, then that's when you talk about some people might not claim it.
Right.
And when you're saying claim it, you're talking about actually claiming it through the Federal Reserve for the real money, or what are you talking about when you say claim?
Yep. That's how the bank pays all their bills.
Through postal money orders?
through postal money orders and through the Federal Reserve Bank.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, like I said, I've learned a little bit in the process. I know they cost a grip. Every time you buy one, it's a little bit of a fee on top of that.
Yeah, that class will be coming up. I think I'll be teaching that class during convention.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right,
I agree with that.
Brother Barnesville.
Yes, Mom.
I seen you put up an Asiatic hand.
That's a light skinned hand.
Islam. It was yellow. So whatever that was.
Yes, it was.
My question was pertaining to the consumer rules in regards to debt collector and applicable practices, and specifically in regards to the part where it references a minor. And speaking about the contracting with the minors. In regards to the minor, is the minor with somebody, without estate, or somebody who's not contracting with their estate, perhaps? Is that a minor?
What is the definition that they're using?
I would definitely probably, it's either going to be one or two definitions, age of 18 or legal majority.
What is their definition that they're using?
I don't have it, and I don't got it. I don't got the internet either, so I can't pull it up.
All right. I would suggest going to their definitions. You can probably use minor might be in the CFR definitions. Let me see.
Is the Postmaster General an elected position?
The president.
Okay.
It's appointed official.
Okay.
The big boss.
Uh-huh.
He know how to do everything in there. Everything, usually.
So it looks like, so there's a Postmaster General for the entire Postal Service and like one for each area?
Correct.
Yes, every main post office has one.
Like, isn't it like, I guess a number one in every city?
Mm-hmm.
Wherever there's a number one, usually the postmaster is in that area.
Sorry.
Uh, 26 CFR.
I can remember actually utilizing a lot of this information that she's sharing to send information inside the prison system. I mean, all kind of different mailing. We saved a lot of money when we actually were using what she's sharing with y'all tonight.
Yeah, Neil Bay actually taught me how to use the post office with stamps and everything. I had no idea.
I know there's ways to send mail for free, and I know there's ways to receive mail for free, and a whole lot of other stuff you can use the post office for.
And it's always changing because they know that somebody gonna sit back and watch it and say, oh, okay, this is what I gotta do. And don't do this. But I mean, in the federal system, you're gonna learn about the postal service because That's the bread. That's the butter. That's everything.
All right. Brother Barnesville, you can find the definition under 18 U.S.C.
18 U.S.C.
Let me see what that is. I was looking at something else. Hold on.
So that's under the sentencing classifications of offenses. And a minor is going to be 18 U.S.C. Subsection 3559 E2. For the purpose of this subsection, the term, all right, sex offender, okay, D, the term minor
Wait a minute.
means
You lost me. What chapter?
subsection 3559 E2.
I don't even see that. I don't even see where you at.
The term minor means an individual who has not attained the age of 17 years. E, the term state has the meaning given to the term in subsection C2. All right, so that's one of them. Another one is 18 U.S.C. looks like subsection 25A2. Term minor means a person who has not reached 18 years of age. So it depends on what it is that your what public law you're using.
Okay. It depends on the public law that I'm using.
Man, I can't find y'all. All right. Well, I missed that one.
Public law 108-21. All right, minor. I'm gonna put the links in the chat for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to find, like, how you found that quick. I was trying to go there.
Yeah, I think I found it that quick just because I've been doing it for so long.
Okay, I know. So what it was I couldn't figure out. So part one, crimes, was where I wasn't at part one.
So yeah, all I do is I'm gonna show you what I do when I'm looking for something. Right.
She quick with it, y'all.
All I'm gonna do is I already know, like if I don't know the title, but I know the phrase. So if I say title, if I don't know the title, but I know the phrase, I'll put title, USC, or CFR, and then I'll put the phrase. So I'll say consumer protection. And then I'm protection. Then I'll get a bunch of hits. So then I'll just go in and I'll look and see if that's what I want. And sure enough, here it is. Title 15, Chapter 41, Consumer Credit Protection. So even if I don't know the title, I can just put title USC or title CFR, and I can type the phrase and it'll bring up different options for me. Back in the day, we didn't have to do this. We actually had to go through. We actually had to go through, look at, we had to go to the law library.
Pages, you gotta go to the
Go
library.
get those books and look it up.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is easy. So what about the consumer credit, Brother Barnesville? You said you wanted the.
I was just curious about the minor and the application thereof. That's about
Islam, Moors. And thank y'all for really being a part of this, because a lot of Moors will tell you, this ain't more science, but this makes sense. This is more science. It's adding up for us.
This is how the world actually does their day-to-day business. So if you're out in the world and you're doing day-to-day business, but you don't know the rules, then you're going to always receive that tax assessment. You're going to be left holding the tax and having to pay the tax, right?
Right.
Like, for instance, all of us know about coronavirus, right?
Islam.
Here it is under title chapter 41, right? Title 15, chapter 41, it said Coronavirus Economic Stabilization CARES Act. We didn't been hear about the CARES Act since 2020. So you can go in here and you can read all about the CARES Act.
And the reason you hear other temples say, oh, that's not more science, or that's not what the prophet taught, because they don't want to study. They don't want to read.
Right.
So it's best to tell you, oh, the prophet didn't bring that.
No, if all I had to do was just recite by memory,
correct,
the divine constitution of bylaws, additional laws, the a couple of the warnings,
the box, they're keeping you in a box. They not sitting.
If all I had to do was just
come out
recite
and be
that,
a guider of the nation.
you know how easy that is? That's easy. All I gotta do is just recite it over and over and over and over again.
We were having a conversation with some Moors the other day, and it's like it's difficult when you are talking to those who we consider to be asleep, and you're trying to wake them up and expose them to more science, talk to them about nationality, and they live in their in their world, so it's just like the Matrix. They're dealing with the blue pill. We trying to get them to take the red pill, but when we expose them to more science and we can't show them that this is any different or this is an improvement upon the imaginary world that they're living in, it's not attractive. You know what I'm saying? They we can talk about nationality all day. We can't show them how to function. We can't show them how to set themselves free from the matrix. We can't show them how to improve their situation and get away from being slaves in the system. Then that fictitious world
the craziest part about that, what you're saying is most Moors can't explain to you why nationality is so important, right? I'm in a room full of multi-million-dollar day traders, investors, business owners, and me trying to sell them on more science by saying, well, the prophet said that, we need to unify, we need to come together. Nationality is the order of the day. Why is nationality the order of the day? Because when you say order to them, they're going to automatically go to financial order. You see what I'm saying? So now you have to be able to understand, well, what does order mean in finances? because you're going to have to explain it to them in that way for them to even get interested.
You got to speak their language.
You got to speak their language. The prophet did. I mean, I realized something just the other day. And matter of fact, it was last night. I was studying the Moorish literature. I realized that the prophet had put a whole assignment in the Moorish literature. A whole assignment in the Moorish literature that I'd never seen before. Brother Barnesville, did that help you out? Online shopper protection. See, this is why you need to study so that you know how to be protected when you shopping online. How many of us even shop online? I do all the time. I think I shop at Target online at least once a week. I put my order in online and go pick it up. Women's business enterprise development. Didn't the prophet tell us we need to have business enterprise?
Absolutely.
I mean, the prophet was teaching this. So when we say things like, oh, the prophet didn't bring that, that's just ignorance. That's just, oh, I really don't want to learn. So I'm just going to, you know, laugh it off and say the prophet didn't bring that and have a group of brothers and sisters like, yeah, you know, the grand sheikahs know what she's talking about. You know, the prophet ain't bring that. That mo crazy.
That's right.
I've seen it
That's my
done
cue
so
right
many
there.
times. I've
It's
seen it done so many times.
The Muslim said that's his cue right there.
Yeah.
see.
Well, I wanted to say, it's in our, it's on the back of our 101s. It says we to propagate the faith of Muhammad and extend the learning of the great prophet of Ali. So I look at the elders and I be like, we got
There's
this
more
much, but we're supposed to
extending.
extend it.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to move. Yeah, we're supposed to graduate. We're supposed to take the seed of knowledge and graduate. They try to say prophet was limp. This is for those new brothers. This is for those brothers who try to say stuff like Prophet Noah Ali did his thing, or you know, he did his part, or someone will say, "Why are you following somebody?" You know, no. He gave us the seeds that we were missing at that date and time. And then now we've taken them and we're building on. And then the first seed is get your houses in order and extend the learning. The houses in order says it all. Says it all. This is common sense. I seen it in a movie. It was I think it was a Muhammad Ali movie. It's an older movie, but they had a European woman. She was playing like she was a Moor. I saw her the way through it because she was fussing about their local county trying to force her to get electricity. She's fussing with that county, trying to force her to be on county water supply. Because her house, she had her house in order. And I saw that. So Islam, but that's what it's about. We're getting the houses in order. It's all really elementary common sense. And people who don't want to learn, people want to stay dumbing others down, they're going to keep trying to do that to us. Islam.
Islam. That's right. So, you know, Title 15 is
Islam. That Mo said that. Praise Allah for that, Mo.
Praise
They
Allah.
definitely Muslim are trying to dumb us down.
That's right.
The prophet said in the warning, what'd he say? Every evil spirit is moving to do what?
Mm-hmm. Tear down.
Right.
Islam. To try every weak mind. All of us.
Drag out the true foundation. That's right.
That's right. So those are weak minds who don't want to study. Those are weak minds who just want you to stay in a box.
Yeah. They don't want to study. And then if they do study, they don't want to apply. It's like, it's not just studying. You got to have application, right?
That's right.
Here it is. They got a whole chapter for China trade. right? A whole chapter. Why would they have a chapter for China trade if they're supposed to be in some type of, pseudo war with China? Make it make sense, right? The prophet said that gold and silver belongs to the citizens and the citizens alone, right?
Islam.
So here it is. You have Title 15, Chapter 8, falsely stamped gold or silver
Come
or
on.
goods manufactured therefrom. So you could have gold and silver and it could be false, right? It could be fictitious. You're going to have a penalty or a infraction. And then it could be a forfeiture where the government says, nah, hand that over. Hand that over. Any gold or silver or goods manufactured therefrom after February 21st, 1905, bearing any stamp, words, phrases, or devices prohibited to be used under Section 291 of this title.
Islam. Look at the government
So
way over
you
in
gotta
Africa.
know
How they
how
in all
to
those.
protect your gold and your silver.
That's right.
If they telling you that they can seize it, you need to know how to protect it.
Well, let's go back to what you said the other day in regards to wasn't that a voluntary act for those who decide to participate to turn their gold and silver in?
Voluntary. Voluntary.
So they come knocking at your door trying to seize whatever gold and silver that you may have. I mean,
you got to know how to protect yourself.
Well,
what you gonna say? Well, the prophet said that I can have my gold and silver.
It should be under your trust.
The prophet said I can have the gold. The prophet said the gold and silver belongs to the citizens and the citizens alone. How are you going to protect? How are you going to protect that? Make it make sense.
Well, I mean, I guess going off of what we've been demonstrating is that again, this gold and silver belongs to the people, and you don't have jurisdiction because again, I didn't agree to to voluntarily participate in the 1933 Gold Act.
That's right. So now you gotta enforce the Constitution, right? Because the gold and silver, that gold and silver that they're talking about in the code is for them to follow.
Participated, right?
It's for them to. It's for the United States government and its officials to follow, not the true American citizens. Separate jurisdictions. This is for them to follow, not you. That's why you go in here. You go in here and make sure that they're following their codes, their regulations, their ordinances. When you find out that they're not doing it, now you can bring claim against them. It's called tort claim.
It's so crazy that you brought that up because as you were talking just a minute ago, somehow running through looking for information on the post office, I stumbled upon an area where it says how to file a lawsuit against the government, and I was pulling up this form, and it was a claim form in regards to that.
Islam.
It's a SF 95 for claim for damage, injury, or death.
Yep. SF 95.
It's crazy.
Yep. So you can do SF 95. For those of you all who filled out the application for the U.S.DOT number for your vehicles,
I must have missed that.
You want to do a SF, I think it's 92.
Where was I at when y'all taught that?
SF 92 form.
Yeah, I don't know. Mighty Networks.
Yeah, that was a long form that we went through. I remember the form. It was real long.
I don't know where I was at. I got to go back and look at that.
Man, that form took forever to get through that.
I
But yeah,
want
and
to go back over it then.
it's definitely in the modules. So whenever you're in a car accident, right, it's going to be the SF91 form. And then you want to do the SF, I think it's 93, 94. Let me see. 93 is medical history. 94, statement of witnesses. So you want to have statement of witnesses. Right? When you're anytime you're in a car accident, for those who have the U.S.DOT, you got the U.S.DOT. Anybody do their U.S.DOT yet? Anyone got their private plates yet?
Man, listen, once I find it, I'm on it. I got to find out where y'all went, right, to travel?
Yep.
I thought you had to have your trust in order before you can do the DOT.
You do. Yeah, you definitely want to have it.
Bill of sale, all of that. Like, we got to go through all of that. I'm gonna have to go through this process. Check it out. I'm gonna get back to y'all on that.
He said, "I'm gonna get back to y'all on that."
I gotta
I'm gonna
study
put
this.
these forms in the right to travel so y'all can have these on hand as well.
Do you recall what recording I need to go back and listen to go through this form?
Nah, brother, I don't recall that.
All right. I mean, like a rough date, like estimate, like, back in March, somewhere to start. Like, I guess I'll have to figure out, I'll dig through and find it.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, nah. I mean, I know a lot of things, but that right there, yeah, that's really putting it in different compartments that I don't need.
Yeah, we don't have to start like just putting the message out, like, so that way at least it's searchable in Mighty Networks. If you put out like the DOT form, and that way we know 2 years
I mean,
from now.
it is in there. It's in the right. It literally.
No, but I'm saying like, so like, if I know that you put in DOT form on that date, that's when you covered it in the Koran class. Then when I search it, I can pull up that recording, and I know around that date you did the DOT. You see what I'm saying? Like,
let me know how this needs a secretary assistant. Are you volunteering?
Let me know how
that's
that
more work for her.
Volunteering.
That's more work.
That's what it sounds like.
Let me know how that works out for you, bro.
like right now, I'm gonna just put something in the chat that we covered. That's the order today. On Mighty Network. So that way, if I got to search for two years from now, I know Postmaster General was on the 31st of August.
Okay.
No, for real, brother Claudio. You can start around February, March. Definitely right around March, February, March.
I thought it was around February, March, April, one of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those. It's one of those months. It's only 4 Sundays in each month. February, we only had 3 or 2. So that was a short month for you.
I'll find it.
So it should coincide with the date that the right to travel was uploaded.
Yeah, so the right to travel, we did that 4 months ago.
See?
Yeah, 4 months ago. It's on.
So 4 months ago, it put us in April.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
There you go. Sounds like we got a secretary assistant, y'all. Praise Allah. Won't he do it?
Absolutely. I'm just gonna figure this out.
Islam. All right, Brother Barneshill. Did that help you out, Brother Barneshill?
You
Brother
know what's crazy
Volunteer.
about this, Sheikah? Is I went here and filled out all these forms. Like I filled out the right to travel form. I don't remember. Like I went through and did all of these forms in here, but I don't have no clue what to do with them.
Okay.
Islam, this brother.
Fill them out.
Okay.
This brother Sidney.
Okay.
Is there a filing fee if we do our own forms on the right to travel? Is there a filing fee and we do that with our state DOT?
Yeah. Okay, so the U.S. there is no state DOT. All right. It's only the federal DOT. There's no state DOT. You might have a state DMV. You might have a state MVA, because Maryland is MVA. Everywhere else, I think, is DMV. So yeah, you might have those agencies on the state side, but there's only one federal US DOT. Another thing is for those who want to start getting, you want to get rid of those driver's license, you can always do a AAA international driving permit.
Is that triple with the T or is that 3 A's? Okay, I see it. Let me write that down.
You know what AAA is, right?
International driving permit.
Especially for those who travel outside the states, you definitely want to have one of these.
So with this international driving permit, what does, that does give you the right to drive in any country? Is that as a Moorish diplomat or Moorish
brother,
American?
see, this is the thing, right?
Islam Empress, you remember the one guy, what was his name that we used to loan money? He was a Jew or so?
Yep. John the Jew.
John the Jew. That's how he used to travel. He never had a license here.
Never. I used to loan out money and I would charge him extra interest because he was a Jew and he liked to gamble. He's one of my father-in-law's friends. He liked to go to the boat a lot. And he's in a conservatorship with his daughter. So she only gives him a certain amount of money every month. And he's always coming to me to borrow money. So we'll issue him and he owns a what was that? He had the car auction. He gets like little cars from auctions. So we would trade. I would give him the money in a contract and he would give me the titles to the vehicles. So I would have about 3 or 4 titles. I'll give him the loan. And if he didn't bring me back the loan and the interest, then I would keep the vehicles.
So I like the sound of that. That's pretty cool. As you are going into this, I mean, if the goal is to get out of the driver's license arena in terms of getting ourselves out of that, being the private, do we want to have the international driving permit, so to speak?
Yeah, it's a permit. It's not a license. You can't be taxed.
Okay.
Look at all of these countries that you can utilize it in.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the application and it says on the application that on the bottom of the second page, it says U.S. driver's license and international driving permit recognized on presentation to local police. So that's what made me ask about that, because so I guess they're saying either one.
If you don't have a driver's license, you don't have to present it. You're not going to present a driver's license.
What it says permit restrictions valid for 1 year, valid only in conjunction with the current driver's license.
It's going to say that because it needs to protect itself.
Okay. Not valid for driving in the United States. Must be effective within 6 months of application date. Does not give driving privileges.
Right, because it can't give driving privileges. The only thing it can give is a permit. It can't give driving privileges. Listen, you know who AAA is, right?
Yeah.
You think any state is going to go up against AAA?
Probably not.
No, they handle all vehicle matters. So in order for AAA to provide this instrument to the public, they got to follow some rules and regulations. Okay, look, we're going to go ahead and we'll give the permit out. It's $20 a year, right? So you can say, okay, well, I want it for 5 years. Pay the money for it, pay it up for 5 years, and be done with it. Every 5 years, you go back and you get another one.
Okay.
And that takes the place of the driver license.
That takes the place of the driver's license.
And
so if you got the AAA permit, right? You can go get the plan for the AAA. So AAA has insurance, it has protection if you're on the side of the road.
I'm lost though, because on the application it says driver's license number. So I understand, I hear what you're saying, but do you leave that blank?
Yes, you will leave that blank. You don't have a driver's license number if you don't have one.
I do now, but I'm saying if I'm trying to get out of the public, so well, basically you're saying we would go through this process that we went through with the DOT, put your vehicle privately in your trust and go through the whole process.
Right. So you would just provide a copy of your registration with the DOT.
Right. I was going to say,
you're not registered under the state anymore.
A lot of people have not got a favorable reply when they did it because they didn't have exactly
the
what you just
USDT,
said.
the USDOT.
So,
they either most people either had the USDOT, but they didn't have anything to substitute the driver's license, or they had the substitution of the driver's license, which is this, but they didn't have the USDOT.
I got you.
So you're missing a step, but it was a great idea.
Okay,
with the AAA, right? You can get all types of goodies with AAA. See?
Oh yeah. Okay.
AAA,
all kind of stuff.
See, they're a not-for-profit organization. Membership. That membership has its privileges, right?
Indeed.
So you can get insurance.
And only person I know who's been able to do this successful is Brother Tahuti. Remember Empress in Chicago? And he said you gotta know how to undo your contract with the state first. And a lot of
that
people,
was back. Yeah, that was definitely back then. Now I know so many people with it now.
So, and a lot of people,
pretty much everybody got it now.
Right.
I ain't, so that ain't true.
Auto, home, life, condo, renters, travelers, small business, personal, umbrella, right? There's so much that you can get with AAA. So like if you do the insurance, say if you do the insurance with AAA, you do the travel, you do the automotive, you can even do finance. They even got identity theft protection. They got credit cards. They got prepaid Gift cards, foreign currency. You can even trade out foreign currency. Look at this.
At
We need to get paid for this.
AAA is on point. Woo.
Sound like she an agent right now for AAA.
Membership has its perks.
I gotta find out. Trading out foreign currency, huh? Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Because the banks
Membership
ain't got
has
none when you go.
No, the banks don't have it. What's the other what's that other currency trade vendor? What's the name of it?
Forex.
No. You can actually get a card.
Yeah, you got me on that one.
Yeah, it's normally used. They got roadside assistance.
You talking about Travel Centers of America? Not Travel Centers. Motor Club of America.
No. I can't think of the name of no, Motor Club of America. Those are some frauds.
Oh, when you said that you can get a card for roadside assistance, that's what made me think of that.
No. I was saying you can get a card for the currency exchange. Is it currency exchange? I think that's the name of it.
If you talking about the ones that's in the airport, like the little currency exchange people in the airport and all that.
Yeah.
It's the currency exchange. That's it.
Yeah, the little kiosk.
Yeah.
That we have, you can get the little card to go with it. Is my currency exchange. I think one of these actually no, this is not the one. Well, one of those used to work with AAA, but I'm seeing AAA now, they have their own foreign currency exchange now. Oh, they doing everything now. It's a one-stop shop with AAA. Wow. So Barnesville. Brother Barnesville. Where did he go? It looks like Brother Barnesville is no longer with the Asiatic hand.
You can put the yellow hand away.
It's this brother sitting there. I guess I'm gonna have to try to plan me a trip down south to get some of this paperwork done. But the question that I ask is, what are the filing fees for the right to travel? I am looking at this IDP. It's only $20. But what's the difference in the IDP and the normal right to travel that we file for, like under the Ouachitas or up under the temple?
I don't know what you're talking about. No Ouachitas or nobody tribe. I don't know what you're talking about. USDOT.
UFDOT.
That's the transportation.gov. Okay. The transportation.gov, right? So you fill out the application with the FMCSA, that is the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. And registration, you go ahead and fill this here out. All right. Registration requirements. Right. You're going to put, oh, I just called Brother Barnesville. Here he comes. Right. You're going to fill out this application now. You're going to make sure you fill out the application here now. All right. I don't know nothing about no Ouachita, no Doug DeMalia, no, none of that. None of that. None of that, Mo. I don't know none about none of that. What I know is the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. They're going to get you together, okay? And then you can go and you can create your own. So,
well, let me ask you this. For those individuals, let's say you go this route, and get your registration through the DOT, and you become a private citizen, right? Or not private citizen, but you make your vehicle private. Now you've got an international driver's license or a permit as opposed to the driver's license. As I'm going through this application, as you're talking, I'm seeing that they're asking whether or not you're going to transport passengers for compensation. So if you were like a private, let's like a livery type of vehicle, or if you were doing some sort of Uber or Lyft or whatnot, you essentially wouldn't be technically allowed to do that because you aren't for hire, right? Or no, am I wrong in that?
If you are, if it's okay, so you have the vehicle and it is a vehicle for just you, the consumer, right?
Right.
Just for your personal family. You can always rent out the vehicle to an entity that's doing business. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
All
So,
right.
but now, okay, so let's take that for 1 minute. Let's take that for 1 minute. So now let's say you rent out that vehicle to an entity that's doing business. Every entity can have a driver's license, yes or no?
Yeah,
Like,
that entity, so say like if it was a DBA, Chuck's traveling guide, right? And Chuck's traveling guide is providing a guidance traveling service, right, for extended family members. We're gonna call them extended family members.
Right.
Because they not family members by blood, but they extended family members.
Right.
And yeah, you don't have to have a driver's license to for Chuck to guide his extended family members, across the street.
I hear that. But what I'm saying, so I'm trying to make sure I'm wrapping my head around this. So essentially the vehicle, it would be private. You then lease that private vehicle out to Chuck's service to do whatever he's gonna do with his extended family. I would assume that you would drop some sort of agreement to lease that out to him. And then he doesn't have a driver's license per se because he's an LLC or a C Corp or an S Corp. So then how is he permitted to
Well, he don't
transport?
have to be an LLC or a C Corp or S Corp.
You say he doesn't have to
he
be?
can be a non-for-profit because he's just guiding his extended family members.
Whatever type of transmitting utility he is.
Guiding is not driving or traveling. It's guiding. Right. You got to listen to the language.
I'm listening to the language, but I'm still understanding. So you're guiding them. So okay. So he gets stopped by law enforcement while he's guiding. So that's what I'm figuring out. Okay, so then, what you doing?
So he should already have had law enforcement put on notice in the area that he's guiding his extended family members.
That he's in a private vehicle.
Exactly, guiding his extended family members.
So you would just basically have to give blanket notice, because you can't be putting law enforcement on notice every time you bust a move.
No, you just get blanket. That's it.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
It's called intergovernmental relationships.
Yeah. I think we discussed that vaguely when we were talking about the law of the flag.
Brother Barnzell, don't try to do any of this if you ain't got your trust set up. I hear you all in the
If you do though, Brother Barnzell, let me know how it go.
I've done it already, and it was interesting.
They revoked my badge name license and all that other stuff that I don't care about.
You said they revoked your what?
My badge name's license.
What is that?
Business Brother Barnes, not Barnesville. Business Brother Barnes. That's Barnes.
Badge name license. Okay.
So they revoked your person. What and what did they say about your person? Did they say you had a belligerent person?
Oh, they just said I was found guilty, and these are the consequences. Or they said the person was found guilty, and these are the consequences.
So is the person? Does the person have a USDOT registration?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Guilty.
Does the person have an international driver's license?
No, that person no.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I didn't think that brother did.
So local policy enforcers don't have jurisdiction over international driving permits.
They don't have any jurisdiction over private trust property. It is private. Nobody has authority over private trust property. Only the trustee has the authority to issue certain powers and authorization to individuals that's not a part of the trust.
Islam and see Morris, I had already jumped out of there with the beauty of truth before I knew what I needed to know. Because I just was like, hey, y'all public. I can see it in your all capital letters. What are you doing trying to demonstrate with me? I'm not demonstrating in the capital right now, okay? I'm demonstrating in the lowercase, not capital. And we need to set our trust up, Morris.
And when you say that, you talk about not only the irrevocable trust, but also the living trust, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, just the irrevocable?
Both. You need to set up both. Yeah, you need to set up both.
I'm trying to get one done first and then work on this other one.
Okay. Well, the revocable one is actually much easier than the irrevocable.
Well, okay.
And we got revocable trust templates.
Yes, brother. I haven't gone over it yet because most of us don't even have the irrevocable done yet.
Islam, like me, Brother Barnesdale, I'm gonna put my hand up first and say it has not been
hold down, favorite of heaven. How could it be? You hear me, bro? I said you hear me, right? I said you hear me, right? I said, oh thou favorite of heaven, how could that be?
Oh man, brother man. Hey, we don't all the brothers ain't finna pay the sisters.
You know, it'd be something if we could get something close to a boot camp or a retreat. We'd all come out of there with the group effect. So we're doing good, man. Everybody gonna have it done.
The thing about it is this, right? You only meet with the temple on Friday, Wednesday, and Sunday. On those other days, what are y'all doing with each other? Are y'all communicating with each other?
No, I'll tell you.
Are y'all saying, hey, look, I got this done, but I don't have this done. Or I need this. Have you done this yet? Or, do you understand? Like,
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't talk to the brothers. I don't even have MOCLs or I don't have none of these brothers' contact information. I'll be first to say I have not reached out and talked to anybody throughout the week.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Though I can say that I believe, because I was thinking about this yesterday and today. It's management and it's consolidating and we are getting our houses in order. And what I'm trying to say is, I'm fully occupied, and I have to manage or downsize or keep on, because we're looking at it like the Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that's 3 days out the week that the evenings are locked down. So that's like, okay, I'm not on the clock at those times. So therefore, I'm maximizing the time away. And now we're going to the next level where we're going to be communicating with each other all the more. Now, that's all I'm saying. I was thinking of that earlier. Looking forward to it because there's just a lot of consolidating going on.
Moorish, y'all can. I mean, that's what you have Mighty Networks for. Y'all, most people don't even post on Mighty Networks.
Well, I get in there every now and then. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, me, my husband, Claudia, Brother Rice Bay, the doctor, Brother A. Griffinil posts a lot of books.
Okay.
So we can open question answer about our different position modes.
Islam. I mean, y'all can have a group and everything you can create on Mighty Networks. I mean, y'all I mean, you got video capability. You can go live and everything.
Well, I tell you, for one, I feel like my resources are strong. I mean, God forbid I not make it to that day, but I feel the resources are strong, and that's us. Like, I hope we all are slacking, because then we'll turn around and see everyone been slacking. Though, and I'm not depending on others. I hope, we don't want to depend on each other in that way that we're slacking. Though, yeah.
Islam.
I don't feel like I'm slacking. Islam.
Indeed. Brother Barnesville, did that help you out with the minors? Because I'm as far as like what it means, minors, that's pretty much all I was able to come up with as far as like the meaning, the definition of minor. If you're looking for anything more specific,
I was probably thinking more of the minor doctrine, perhaps. The minor doctrine that's used.
I'm not understanding.
So the doctrine that a minor is somebody, because I heard this doctrine taught in multiple rooms.
You could try 31 CFR too. 31 CFR.
Let me write that one down too.
336327. I've given this one out a couple times.
You said 36 C1R.
What are we talking
about?
CSR.
C Code of Federal Regulations, CFR.
And you said 36 CFR and you said 32?
31 CFR
363.27.
363.27.
So 31 CFR what?
363.27. All right, it's going to tell you everything about a minor account. It's going to tell you all, because that's what you was asking for, more so on how minor accounts are held or something like that.
Perhaps. How they're held, how they're entrusted.
What are you trying to do? Explain to me in those terms so then I can better assist you.
Learn how to apply, like the codes that I'm reading in the consumer course. How to learn how to apply those.
Consumer. I didn't do a consumer course yet. You talking about Title 15, what? Title 15, Chapter 41.
I'm talking about, Title 15, Chapter 41.
41. I'm talking. What's subsection?
I do have it on the computer. Give me one moment.
Okay.
We do have it saved on the computer, so I'm not out. I'm not out. I'm trying to read where these people is bogus, and it's really hard for me to apply what I'm reading to them being bogus, sis, on these codes. And the closest thing that I have.
Is it a debt collector?
Yes.
Okay. So the Consumer Credit Protection Act, debt collectors, it starts at subsection 1692. On debt collection practices. So you have the definitions, acquisition of location information, communication in connection with debt collection, harassment or abuse, false and misleading representations, unfair practices, validation of debts, multiple debts, legal actions by debt collectors, furnishing certain deceptive forms, civil liability, administrative enforcement. I mean, there's several of these that you can go in and, you know, study and read and see what they have done. So communication, let's go with communication. All right. Islam. Communication without the prior consent of the consumer given directly to the debt collector or the express permission of a court of competent jurisdiction, a debt collector may not communicate with the consumer in connection with the collection of any debt. Period. So if they did this, this would be a violation.
They did it.
All of them do it.
That's a violation. Harassment or abuse. A debt collector may not engage in any conduct, the natural consequence of which is to harass, oppress, or abuse any person in connection with the collection of a debt, without limiting the general application of the foregoing. The following conduct is a violation of this section. The use or threat of use of violence or other criminal means to harm the physical person, reputation, or property of any person. The use of obscene or profane language or language the natural consequence of which is to abuse the hearer or reader. Right? So if they are claiming that you owe a debt without validation and verification, right? That is criminal. That's violence. That's harm to the person, the reputation of the person, or the property of the person. Like if they're saying this about your trademark, your copyright, that's violence. That's criminal. That's harassment. That's abuse. So yeah, I'm not understanding what you're having issues with. Can you explain? Because I just gave you 2 examples with just communication and harassment.
The prior notice part is just was portionally tricky, just in regard to what contracts may or may not have been signed and the explicitity of what was noted in the contract. That's all.
Do you have a copy of the contract?
No.
Okay, so your first thing you want to do is get a copy of the original contract with the wet ink signature on it.
They ain't got it.
Right. I was gonna say, what if I can't find that then?
No.
Then
You're gonna ask them for it.
They ain't got it.
Right. What if they don't find it?
If they don't find it, that there is no validation or verification that a contract is in existence.
Okay.
Oh, well, then there's praise Allah.
But there's still more to that process, though, is it not?
It's a lot more to that process.
You have to let them know they're in default and dishonor.
Yep.
Is that the administration process in full with the additional? So it's an additional page requesting the wet ink.
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, you're gonna want the wet ink signature, because that could be a computer that signed that. Anybody could sign that. So do you have verification, that validation that that's my IP address? I mean, you can even say, well, it was signed from such and such IP address. So did you verify and validate with the internet provider that actual IP address belongs to me or to my person?
So, yeah, you hit on that verify and validate a lot, and every time, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. That is sound. That's sound to me. Verify, and then I've seen it.
And validate. It says it right here. Validation of debts. This is 1692G. Right? They have to verify and validate this. Yeah. They're gonna have to verify and validate this pursuant to this, because this is what they gotta follow.
Okay, that's right. And a more explicit question in regards to the format of the demonstration, the format of the verification letter. When we're asking them to provide these motion of remedies according to these statutes that's listed off, we're literally telling them.
You're not going to be asking them to provide a motion of remedy. You're going to be asking them to verify and validate a debt.
Debt validation.
Debt validation letter.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Now you can motion for a remedy because they haven't verified and validated the debt, and they have caused abuse and harm and violence and crimes against your person.
That's right.
Islam.
They have used unfair practices. They've used false and misleading representations. They've attached multiple debts on top of multiple debts that haven't been validated and verified.
Islam. So on that debt validation letter, that one letter, can we also ask on that letter for the original contract in wet ink? Is that the phrase?
Yeah, that's what I said. You can ask whatever you want to ask.
Original contract.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, I only You got to remember, again, anything that I give you all are just templates. This is the reason why you can't use the template on bare face and think that it's going to work out for you. You have to put your own language in it. You got to put your own energy in it. You got to put your own circumstance in it.